We've got some fresh images of 3I-Atlas, a third ever interstellar object observed from Earth, currently racing through our solar system. Now, astronomers have captured that moment live, streaming in real time around the globe of them watching all of this. Take a look at this.
When astronomers first spotted a fast-moving object hurtling toward our solar system in early 2025, they thought it was just another comet. But as the weeks went on and more data poured in, it became clear that this was no ordinary visitor, because this body, now named 3I-Atlas, is doing things that simply should not happen in nature. And as it makes its closest pass to Earth later this year, scientists are asking questions they never imagined they would have to ask about whether this is really a natural comet at all, or something far stranger. Unlike the earlier interstellar objects that briefly passed through our system, such as 3I-Atlas Borisov, is enormous. Some estimates place its nucleus between 20 and 40 kilometers across a size that dwarfs most known comets, and makes it larger than Manhattan Island, and the sheer improbability of such a giant rock being flung from another star system has many astronomers baffled because interstellar space simply doesn't have enough material to produce objects of this scale casually. And yet, here it is streaking toward the inner solar system with a trajectory unlike anything seen before. At first, 3I-Atlas behaved like a normal comet. It developed a glowing coma of gas and dust as sunlight warmed its icy surface, and it sprouted a long tail driven outward by solar wind. But then its appearance changed dramatically. The red glow surrounding its nucleus shifted abruptly into a brilliant green, a sign of cyanogen gas and diatomic carbon. But the speed and intensity of the shift were unlike normal cometary chemistry, almost as if something inside this object was being triggered artificially, and to make matters stranger, spectroscopic studies revealed nickel in its makeup without iron, a ratio that defies natural formation, because nickel and iron are usually born together in stars, and the only place we normally see nickel without iron is in refined metals on Earth where industrial processes separate the two. For some scientists, this was the first red flag that 3I-Atlas may not be a simple lump of rock and ice, but possibly something engineered, or at least shaped by processes we do not yet understand. And while mainstream experts caution against jumping to alien explanations, they cannot deny that the chemical anomalies are difficult to explain away. Then came the most baffling sight of all as 3I-Atlas sprouted an anti-tail, a luminous streak pointing toward the sun rather than away from it. Comets are supposed to have tails blown out by the solar wind. Yet this strange geometry suggests heavier chunks of ice or debris clinging close to the body and scattering light back toward the sun, producing the illusion of a backwards tail. But the brightness and persistence of this anti-tail do not match typical explanations, leaving astronomers puzzled and the public fascinated by the idea that something unnatural is unfolding before our eyes.
A mystery interstellar object that was spotted by astronomers last week. It could be the oldest comet ever seen.
The trajectory of 3I-Atlas only deepens the mystery, because instead of plunging into the solar system on a steep random path like most interstellar visitors, it glides almost perfectly along the ecliptic plane. The flat disk where our planets orbit tilted by less than 5 degrees, and this alignment is incredibly rare with odds estimated at 1 in 500, making some researchers wonder whether the path is intentional, because it will take 3I-Atlas past Venus, Mars, and Jupiter in close succession, offering flybys eerily similar to the carefully planned gravity assists we use when sending spacecraft to tour the outer planets, and most unsettling of all, when it reaches its closest point to the Sun. In December, Earth will be positioned on the far side of the solar system, almost as if by design we are being kept out of its path. This is where speculation ignited across both scientific and public communities, because around the same time, 3I-Atlas was approaching. Unusual signals were detected by radio telescopes aimed at the sky. One transmission in particular repeated with structured intervals, and when partially decoded, appeared to carry a chillingly direct message: "We have watched, you are not alone. Prepare." And while officials downplayed it and later restricted access to the data, The coincidence of timing left many to connect the dots linking the signal to the arrival of 3I-Atlas and wondering if this comet-like visitor is in fact a messenger or probe from beyond. The silence that followed only fanned the flames as SETI's live briefings were abruptly cut off. NASA's Deep Space Network went offline for scheduled maintenance, and entire threads discussing the signal vanished from the Internet. And when a whistleblower later claimed that Earth had sent a reply and received multiple responses back with structured patterns too intelligent to dismiss, people could no longer see these as coincidences. Instead, they became part of a larger pattern, with 3I-Atlas at its center. Some astronomers argue that perhaps this object has wandered for billions of years across the galaxy, picking up exotic chemistry and scars from supernova blasts, but even that does not explain its size, its path, or the strange timing of signals from the same direction. And as it nears Mars in October, the chance to study it closely may finally bring answers, because NASA's Mars Reconnaissance Orbiter and ESA's JUICE probe may capture rare glimpses of this interstellar body as it sweeps past, giving us our first chance to see whether it reflects sunlight passively like a comet or radiates energy of its own. The stakes are high because if 3I-Atlas is natural, it could still transform our understanding of comet formation across galaxies. But if even part of the speculation proves correct, and it is something more than natural, then humanity may be standing on the edge of first contact, and the decoded word prepare takes on a meaning we cannot ignore, whether it refers to scientific readiness, societal awakening, or the warning of an approaching event. Already the public is divided. Some believe 3I-Atlas is a herald of contact with an extraterrestrial civilization. Others fear it could be the harbinger of disaster, and still others argue that it is simply the most extraordinary natural comet ever found. Yet no one can deny the convergence of evidence from its unnatural chemistry to its anti-tail to its improbably precise trajectory, and its arrival from the same direction as mysterious radio bursts in the Sagittarius constellation, including the famous WOW signal decades ago. So, as December approaches, the world waits. The skies are watched more closely than ever. Telescopes are trained on. 3I-Atlas and governments remain unusually quiet, and through it all, one fact cannot be denied. This is not just another comet passing in the dark. This is a visitor that defies explanation, one that may either leave us awestruck by the power of nature or stunned by the realization that we are not alone, and when it reaches its closest approach we may finally see the truth, whether 3I-Atlas is merely rock and ice or the first deliberate messenger to ever enter our skies.